hiphopandwrestling.com. My name is the VSOP. I'm with my mans and them. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Gold.
Stephen Gold, beautiful people, what's good?
Stephen Gold. And we got a special guest, long time no see, Mr. Rap is Like Wrestling, part 1, 2,
Sir,
and
County,
3.
you already know.
Madison Jey. Introduce yourself, Madison Jey.
Wake County's finest, Madison Jey. How's everybody doing out there?
That's right. Wake County 919. Represent.
Already know.
All right, so we got a lot of things to talk about, but I figured we would start with Monday Night Raw. A lot of things branch off from it, especially the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments, and I got the updated brackets that we'll take a look at again. Me and Gold did predictions last week, and then me and Gold did predictions last week. Me and Nick did predictions this past weekend, and now we're going to update our predictions based on what the bracket is looking like, because the men's side is very interesting. And the women's side seems kind of obvious, but maybe not. But we'll discuss that once we get there. But first, let's go ahead and start with Monday Night Raw. And I'm not going to go in any particular order because I want to talk about this one thing in particular, and that would be Liv Morgan dislocating her shoulder in a takedown spot in her match against Kairi Sane. Now, this is, a regular spot that she's probably done a million times in her career.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But that's the way it goes in wrestling. Sometimes the smallest thing can lead to the biggest injury. At first, I thought maybe she was selling it until they took the camera off of her. And typically when they do that, that means they throwing up the X, bringing the doctor out ringside. And we went to commercial abruptly, came back, match was called off. I feel bad kind of for Kairi Sane because that's another injury that was in a match that she was in, first being Zoe Starks from that drop kick, pretty much banging out her knee, tearing up her knee, and then just doing a basic takedown spot in the first 10 seconds of the match. Liv kind of fell just wrong with her shoulder, like similar to how I don't know if you remember when Eddie Guerrero had his first match on SmackDown. He did a frog splash and pretty much dislocated his shit or whatever. But it happens like that sometimes. Freak accidents.
Yep.
So, but this might have some storyline implications like pretty much every injury angle does. But just like how Liv blew up when Rhea had her injury, there's potential for some other glow up processes. We'll get into that a little bit later. But in terms of the injury itself, what was your take on that? We'll start with Gold first.
Same thing. Like, I didn't think it was real serious until they cut the camera off, and I was like, oh man. Mm-hmm. But it's going back to like you and Madison said like a while ago. I was like, man, just the simplest of things. Like, wrestlers are prone to get injured. So it's just man, hats off to like them for just taking the chances and trying to like entertain us, and it just sucks when shit like that happens.
Exactly. Like, no matter whether we like the wrestler or we don't like the wrestler, whether we enjoy the Great Khali, I didn't enjoy his matches, but I still respect the fact that this tall man put his body, took bumps in the ring, did things of that nature, things that I would never do. So so I gotta respect them even if I don't really enjoy their work. You know what I mean? But Madison Jey, what's your thoughts on the Liv Morgan injury?
It's unfortunate. Mind you, Liv is, on an incredible run, especially kind of post the Rhea injury. She's picked up so much steam. She's developed so much as a character, and it's messed up. At the end of the day, just because this is wrestling, anything can happen. Literally, an Irish whip, you can get injured from that.
Yep.
We saw what happened with Zoe, and now seeing what happened with Liv. I also, I feel bad for Kairi.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, unsafe. I saw that on Twitter, and that was just real unfortunate.
For real?
Yeah, man. It was.
Damn.
I won't say it was a widespread thing, but it was just more people just trying to, I don't know, just kind of throw her under the bus.
Right.
And I just, honestly, that's just not fair to Kairi.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah, she's doing her job, and literally it was just when people have to understand those promos that came on, those ads about don't try this at home, literally this is a personification of that right there, because anything can happen.
Yep.
Especially these are trained athletes. let alone someone who's untrained. So just to see that for Liv, I'm wishing her a speedy recovery. I'm
Yeah.
also interested to see what they'll do with the tag team belts in terms of Raquel.
Yeah.
What way will they go? Will they keep the belt? Will she remain on screen, keep things going with the titles, or will they just completely drop them from Raquel and Liv? But yeah, just really unfortunate for her to have that injury, especially right now.
Absolutely. So I have a thought on the tag team title situation. Again, and I don't want to. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that instead of the titles being forfeited, and then they have some type of tournament or something to determine who the new contenders would be, Roxanne Perez jumps in as a substitute.
Yep.
And this
Exactly.
and this is how we make the story deeper for when Liv does return. Because if you notice, Liv is starting to show a little bit of frustration with Raquel, right? Slowly but surely. So now Liv is out, and Roxanne's in the back, due to Finn's shenanigans. And
Right.
so Roxanne can say, hey, I'll step in and team with you, Raquel. They have a couple of victories. They start to get along and whatnot. Long enough for Liv to, however long she's going to be out, which could be months. But for her
Right.
to come back, and then we may have an already built-in storyline, especially with Dom not having Liv around. So now we got the Dom dynamic, we got the Raquel dynamic, we got the Roxanne dynamic. The all is connected to Liv. So I think they could probably make some good storyline magic while Liv is out. But I'll ask what you guys think about that. Gold, what do you think about that particular angle, or do you have another idea for what to do with the tag titles?
No, that was my guess too. I was gonna say the same thing. Like, it makes more sense for Roxanne to step in place of Liv until she recovers, rather than like having a whole nother tournament and trying to figure out who the title's gonna go to. I like the story building within the Judgment Day and all those particular angles with Finn and Dominik and Liv and Roxanne. I'm real curious to see what they do too. But that does make the most sense. Roxanne stepping in Liv's place.
Yep. And what about you, Madison J?
I think that would be extremely dope. What I mean? It gives Roxanne something to do, especially on the main roster. Mind you, it's just been bubbling on the surface. Roxanne and Liv, their whole beef, and like you said, VSOP, having that dynamic between Raquel and Liv, because something, they've been alluding to something. But it's crazy because it's one or two things I thought about. One was, damn, this sounds familiar. Mind you, didn't we just go through this with Jade, Naomi, and Bianca?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then two, what's up? Are those titles cursed? Because it seemed that lineage has the most injuries behind the holders of that title, I think, from any title that it's almost damn near been in existence in wrestling. And it's just kind of odd because the injuries to me keep thwarting the momentum of the titles, because it's like something will start bubbling up, a team will start cooking, the next injury. It's like, oh damn, like okay, on to the next. So it's almost been kind of I hate to use the term like, oh, the titles are cursed, but it's like it's just too many things that keep popping up.
Yeah.
It's just it's just one of them things that make you go,
Right. It's like the Madden curse.
Right, like the Madden curse.
Because didn't Liv get hurt while she had the tag titles before?
Matter of fact, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, you're right, because I think she was just doing a lot of backstage.
The third time they
not
had
backstage.
it. Yeah, it was either her or Dakota Kai, but I believe one of them.
I think it was Dakota Kai.
Yeah, because I remember Dakota, she got injured for a second time.
I know those titles got forfeited definitely when Raquel and Liv had them. I'm just trying to figure out who got injured. I could probably look it up. But great point that you made. Once the momentum gets started, somehow it gets derailed.
Right.
But I think
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I think in this case that being that there's a bunch of pre-built angles already in place that they can tie this to or latch this to, the titles will be okay until Liv comes back. But it leads me to another question I wanted to ask both of you. We'll do another version of if I ruled the WWE in this particular instance, because when people get injured on WWE, they just get taken off of TV unheard. Haven't seen them, out of sight, out of mind. And I always wondered, I mean, back in the day, there was no digital, the digital world wasn't around back in the day. But I think now that we do have Twitters and smartphones and things of that nature, why even disappear? Why not do a promo from your crib while you're rehabbing, saying, hey, to all my fans, I'm doing good, or better yet, to my enemies or whoever hurt me, I'm coming to get you. I got my eyes on you. And as soon as I get better, I'm coming to get my title or whatever. And to stay relevant, so that way when they do come back, they don't have to do that typical, oh, let me have some warm-up matches. Let me fuck around here on the bottom until I can get to where I was before I got injured. Like, you just jump straight into the shits. But for some reason, WWE just loves to take you off television completely. And I think for some talent, that might hurt them more than help them. I mean, I understand people got to recover. They got to get their strength back, their mobility back. I get all that. But in between, grab your phone. Fucking Liv Morgan, Kyrie saying, when I come back, I'm going to whoop your ass. IYO SKY, don't think I forgot about you fucking kicking me in the ring and drop kicking Dom. I'm going to come get your ass. And Roxanne, if you bring any more goddamn chicken fingers to Dom in the back, I swear I'm going to break all of your motherfucking fingers. How you like that? Right. And just keep that heat going so that when she finally pops up, crowd going crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We don't need the surprise element. Like, just stick around. I think the last time I even seen someone do that was like when Randy Orton, way back in the day, when he first hurt his shoulder, and he started doing his, like, Randy news updates about his shoulder being X percentage healed or whatever. And then he showed up in Evolution, and then the rest is history. But I digress. I'm going on a rant. So, Gold, what do you think about that?
No, I'm with you with that, because remember they used to have like a little video package where like a wrestler would disappear for a little bit, then they have kind of like a little a comeback video. They'll show them like training and stuff like that, bro. Like that was cool. And you're right, like especially when somebody's like, you're trying to build a character up, man, like, them disappearing for a little amount of time, like, out of sight of the mind, that's a real thing. Especially with today's like culture, like you got to stay consistent and you got to stay in front of people's eyes, because they are definitely quick to forget.
100%. And what are your thoughts, Madison J?
I'm a little I'm kind of 50-50, because I definitely think on the one side, they got to utilize social media more in terms of WWE in particular. Like, it's there. It's not going anywhere. A lot of wrestlers, they do, Naomi, Becky Lynch, just in particular women, Jade, they utilize social media to carry on storylines and help character progression. So it's like, utilize that, like you said. Shoot promos in terms of the recovery process. Because mind you, looking back on like Triple H, when he got the injury, like 2002? And they kept, keeping us posted as fans on his progress, the surgery and all that. That's character progression. You're building on like, okay, when he does return, obviously, it's going to be just because of the journey. It's like, that fan support. But then also on the other side, it's like, okay, out of sight, out of mind. For instance, John Cena, when he came back from his big injury, it wasn't like he wasn't always in our face. It was more like, okay, hey, that pop-up, that pop at Royal Rumble, it was insane. Now, if you would have saw him consistently, mind you, even though social media wasn't a thing back then, but if you would have saw him, I don't think the reaction would have been as big if, just keeping him off air. Certain characters, I think it just kind of, it works for certain characters in terms of, hey, injury angle, keeping them on air and keeping them working, also compared to having someone go off air. And in particular, as we're speaking about with Liv, I would like to see, because she's the type of character, like you said, VSOP, having, hey, Roxy, this, that, and the third. Hey, IYO SKY, this, that, and the third. Judgment Day as a whole. Hey, this, that, and the third. Just keeping things going so that way, when she does make her return, it's not like a thing like, oh, she died and now no. you've seen, what she's going through, the surgery. You see her still in character as Liv Morgan. You know what I mean? Giving the business, just helping the character and helping the storylines go. Sidebar. Shout out to Judgment Day, though, because outside of the bloodline, Judgment Day has been the most consistent storyline that's been cooking. And they've gone through all these different iterations that like, even to this day, when Edge started the Judgment Day, I was like, it should have probably be over in a couple of months or whatever. Mind you, the dude who started is not even in it anymore, and it's almost better. It's elevate,
Yeah.
Big shout out to the Judgment Day for all characters. You know what I mean? Shout out to Carlito. Shout out to, R-Truth. Even the side, those side characters. It's giving JD some momentum. It's giving Finn new life. Mind you, Dom. That it took him to a whole different stratosphere.
Yeah.
You got Rhea. Mind you, a whole different stratosphere. DP, whole different stratosphere. So shout out to the Judgment Day, man, just for staying the course. Everybody just, working together. I don't know if it's a collective of ideas or if it's, from the writers or whatever, but shout out to the Judgment Day, man. I really, these past few years, have really enjoyed the work that they've been doing because it's some of the best stuff that they got going in WWE.
Yeah. Quick sidebar, fellas, like what y'all think is going to be the deciding factor for Dom to turn face?
Yes, I'll let you get that.
Well, I question if that's even going to happen right now because Dom seems as if he's getting a little too big for his britches right now. Ever since he got that IC title, he's kind of like calling the shots, Yeah. He's called the shots around here. Tell you who to pop and not to pop around here. That's what it sounds like to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's telling Finn to stay in the back. He's telling the OG Finn to stay in the back.
Yeah. Look, pat him on his head. Hey.
Right. you going to son Finn Balor, right? But he got JD in the match. JD's like, why am I in this match? Told Finn you ain't handle your business. Like, I don't know. So I don't know if I don't know what Dom's humbling moment is going to be. But I always thought that when he finally got, when the Judgment Day turned on him, that Ray would come do the save. And that's how he would reunite with his father. But he still calls, as of late as Worlds Collide, he still calls his dad a deadbeat. So maybe that's not going to happen. So
kayfabe is not dead for him,
right? So I'm not sure what the catalyst for him turning face is going to be. But I mean, what do you think, Gold?
I agree with you. Ray gonna save him. Judgment Day gonna turn on him, and Ray gonna come out and save him. So that would probably be the deciding factor.
What about you, Madison J?
It's crazy because it's been a few moments where I'm like, okay, Dom's going face, or they're going to turn Dom face. And then, they stay the course, keeping him heel, and he does phenomenal heel work. I'm going to be real. Dom reminds me of, his trajectory reminds me of Razor Ramon when Razor Ramon went from heel to face, back in the, I'll say what would it be? Early 90s, mid 90s?
Early 90s.
Early 90s, okay. It reminds me of that. So it's like, yo, you're so cool. Cause to me right now, Dom is just, he's cool as fuck. You know what I mean? I really, his character development these past few years has been extremely phenomenal. And a testament to him and the work that he's put in. He's knocking damn near everything out the park. This IC run is well deserved. He's earned it. He's put in a lot of work. I just honestly, I don't even think it's going to take a lot to turn him, face when they do decide to go that way. But I think he has so much mileage in the heel aspect that it's like WWE's like, nah, man, we're just going to, ride until the wheels fall off.
Right.
It's weird because it's just like you said, going back to if I had to compare his trajectory, I would compare it to Eddie Guerrero's. Because Eddie was the same way. Eddie was a whole heel, but then people just started fucking loving it, bro.
Right. That Latino heat wave.
Yeah, they just started. They loved that he did little things in the ring, like he got hit with a belt, then he be out and throw the belt at whoever he was wrestling or whatever. Like the live cheat still like that theme music, like everybody was like, singing it when it came out, man. They just fell in love with the character. And I think the same thing is happening to Dom.
Well, if anyone's going to carry forward that legacy, Dom would probably be the right one to do it.
Hell yeah.
And now that I think about it a little bit more, the two people that can definitely help Dom turn back face would be Ray. That's obvious. The other being Rhea.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But again, we got to see how deep Roxanne gets her claws into Dom. We got to see what Finn Balor is up to, because possibly just Finn's his shenanigans, his plotting and scheming might just be enough. Maybe Finn will be the person responsible for Dom losing that title.
Absolutely.
So it could be
absolutely. I think Finn will be the catalyst, though. Honestly, he could be the catalyst, because I don't see Finn, unless it's just some like twist of fate or something. I don't see Finn going back face anytime soon.
No.
Mind you, between Dom and Finn, in terms of who's more, conniving and, got that going on, I think Finn has more, because it's just like, yo, I'm not getting my just due with Judgment Day because of, might be deep, Damian Priest when he was there. Like, somebody's always trying to thwart me from running Judgment Day. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to take the creation and turn it against, some of the OGs, being that Finn was who joined Judgment Day first? Was it Finn or Dom?
Finn. It was
it was Finn.
Okay.
It was Rhea DP first, then Finn, then Dom.
Okay. So it's like, hey man, you know what I mean? I'm the elder out of every, this crop, this iteration of Judgment Day. Damn, why? Mind you, if anything, I've just got the tag team belts. Why can't I get singles gold and stuff like that? So
yeah,
me, Finn has more of the fire to be like, you know what? Nah, get him out of here. You know what I mean? Just like how they did with Edge and kicked him out. I think if when they do decide to push the rocket, you know what I mean, and put it on Dom, that would be the guy to be like, okay, hey, that's where the first face feud would be for Dom.
Yep.
It's many different ways that this can happen, but I think that the one that you mentioned, Madison Jey, is probably the most likely way for it to happen, because they're already planting those seeds. But I like it.
Right.
I like it a lot. And the Judgment Day,
absolutely.
The Judgment Day definitely is a brand now.
Yeah,
they're definitely a brand established. 2023 or 22? 22.
22, yeah.
22, yeah. Because Dom
3 years.
Dom joined in 22. Yep. Wasn't that Clash at the Castle or something like that when he tag teamed Edge and turned on Edge?
Yep.
So man, such a long, think about everybody. Matter of fact, hold on 1 second. Actually, never mind. I'll keep this overlay up. Think about everyone's careers who have catapulted since then. Like Rhea's the hottest she's ever been. Damian Priest is the hottest he's ever been. JD McDonough's getting some shine. He's still kind of the one who takes the pin, but he's getting visibility. Right?
Critical.
Right. Crazy visibility. Raquel and Liv come in there. They get that rub. Not that they needed it, but I like them even more now as part of the Judgment Day.
Right.
Me too.
And even you mentioned this Madison Jey. Even Carlito benefited.
Absolutely.
In the Judgment Day. A great collective. I don't know if it's going to be a rotating chair going forward, but I think it is a brand that it should definitely keep alive if they can.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah. Hell yeah.
But having said all that, we wish Liv Morgan a speedy recovery. I assume that her match is not happening at Evolution with Nikki Bella, but that's okay. Maybe Brie Bella can come back and they can go against Roxanne and Raquel.
That would be dope.
And plant the seed right there. All right. Goldberg and Gunther. So I talked about this with Nick this past weekend. I haven't posted that video yet because it was still kind of a rumor. But now, as always, my bad timing with posting videos, it is a reality. And here comes a 58-year-old Goldberg who still looks jacked. But he was sweating by the time he got to the ring. Maybe the pyro was too hot. I don't know. You know,
all them damn clothes on.
Had all those clothes. Right? And as
all them damn clothes.
He got his last ride merchandise on right now. And as always, when Goldberg shows up, he goes straight to the world title, calls his shot, and says, "You're next," to Gunther. But before we even get into Goldberg, Gunther came out, looking like the champion he is, and reminded us that he has Jey Uso's number. And he was talking about who's next and tried to dim the crowd when they started doing Goldberg chants, but ultimately Goldberg came out. So now here we are, Atlanta, Saturday night's main event, July 12th, world title match between Goldberg and Gunther, which I'll be watching the next day, because July 12th, I'll be watching AEW All In. But I will catch up with Saturday night's main event. So here we are. The match is here. I'll start with the gold. Do you want to see it?
No.
That's simple.
Straight up.
Madison J, do you want to see it?
No. No. I'm like, yo, mind you, I'm pretty sure you guys are in tune in terms of just the dirt sheets and stuff like that. And I know that this has been bubbling for a while now. And it's crazy because I'm like, please, when it first broke, I'm like, yo, are y'all serious? I don't know if this is a joke to try, like a red herring to throw people off. But I'm like, oh shit. Listen, Mark, tell him, Mark, and not Jack Perry, Bill Goldberg. Do we need to get Bret Hart out here, man? Do we need to get Bret Hart out here? Because to me, it's like you guys are you're beating a dead horse. You know, what's about to be so different from this Goldberg that we're getting right here compared to the one that we got at Super Showdown years ago? What is about to be so different? And then you guys, mind you, the Pat McAfee thing with him and Gunther, I didn't mind at all because it made sense, right? Mind you, Pat can go. You know what I mean? He knows his role and he knows it well. Why are you trying to put the new world champion against this old ass nigga? What is it going to do? What is it going to do for Gunther, in the long run? Now, mind you, he's hopefully he destroys Goldberg. But the thing is, this isn't Goldberg from 2003. Mind you, this is definitely not WCW OG Goldberg.
Nope.
This isn't Goldberg from 2003. This isn't 2010. This isn't even 2020. This is 2025. I'm like, okay, are you guys trying to get the nostalgic pop, the nostalgic thing? Mind you, Atlanta, hometown.
Right.
I get it. I get the, I get the logistics of it. But bro, this shit is I'm like, no, Gunther doesn't need that. Gunther does not need that for his reign. And to me, it would have been better seeing Goldberg somebody okay, if you are bringing Goldberg back, bring him back against somebody Braun Breaker, and this is, again, the reason I say somebody like Braun is because, okay, there's, he can destroy Goldberg. Get him out of here. Now, unless Gunther is literally about to beat the living piss out of Goldberg, there's no way that, what, fellas, again, just in closing, what sense does this make for the long run outside of it being like a money grab?
And it definitely should not involve the world title. If Gunther was still not the champion, then all right, cool. Goldberg come in, spear him, fine. Right. But all right, so now how long this match is going to be? 5 minutes? This might as well just open the show.
Yeah.
Goldberg's going to take some Gunther punishment. Those chops, the sloppy bomb, the sleeper, the sloppy splash. No.
Come on, man.
This is it's like Goldberg versus William Regal. And I don't know if you remember when William Regal had to
I do.
Had to calm Goldberg's ass down
Come. Had to humble that man.
Yeah, like Gunther is like the 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 version, and even right. Like,
Yeah.
so I think from a mean guy perspective, it's like, all right, I like mean guy matches, but just Goldberg is like, he's limited, and
Yeah.
I just don't know what to expect. Possibly it might be a great match, but for the most part, the title piece of it, matter of fact, if you told me this was a non-title match, which they still could. They haven't. I don't know if they've announced it that it's specifically for the title. I haven't checked online to see, but Goldberg could easily beat up some other people like Austin Theory and Grayson Waller at the same time.
Perfect.
You know,
Perfect.
I like the idea of Braun Breaker though. I think best spear in the business versus the OG spear.
Yeah.
That storyline writes itself. Great heat for Braun Breaker. Because Goldberg,
and he looks up to Goldberg too, like he got the same tattoo and shit.
Right, so Goldberg can put him over. But no, I don't want to see this match.
Get your ass out of here, Jack Perry.
But it's on free TV. For some reason, WWE thought this was the key counter programming match to combat AEW, but this ain't it. This one ain't it. This is not a must-see match. And I like Goldberg. But this ain't it. I don't think so. But they got a couple weeks to make me intrigued.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but what I don't want is Gunther looking up at the lights. And I damn sure don't want to see Goldberg retiring with the title. That makes the whole taking it off Jey Uso story like a waste. And we don't need to do that.
They know better.
They should know better. I want to think they know better, but sometimes.
WWE, man, I'm not even gonna hold you.
Yeah.
You never know what these motherfuckers might do.
You'd be like, the fuck? It just happened.
Yeah.
Why?
Like
Why?
Certain people like Goldberg's and Brock Lesnar's, I'm not surprised when they come back and just take the strap. Because they typically always
now
do.
Brock would have been dope. I'd
much rather see Brock versus Gunther.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. Yes. Hell yeah.
But
no, not Bill Goldberg.
No.
Jesus. Rejected.
Yeah. But actually, since we're on the subject of Gunther, I want to get your take. Me and Gold talked about this last week, Madison J. But I want to get your take on, Jey Uso's title reign. He had it for just a few months, only two title defenses. His third defense against Gunther, which I thought that match was excellent. I thought it told a great story in the ring about all the
Beautiful
injuries that he was piling up. Getting everybody's affairs. And Gunther had warned him, like, dude, you're doing too much before you get in the ring with me. You must have forgot who I am. And they had a great back and forth. But ultimately, Jey couldn't hang in there, and he got beat clean. The title win is over. The title reign is over, at least the first one. The chase is not over, but the first reign is over, and it was short.
Right.
And it seemed very transitional to me. But do you see it differently, Madison J?
Okay, so first off, I'm gonna speak about Rikishi, OG, speaking on the run and whatnot, because he said some things that put in perspective for me, like, I think Jey was champ for 51 days, right? So I think Rikishi had mentioned, wouldn't do this to wouldn't do this to the quote unquote big dogs, right?
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, it just so happened a couple months ago, I saw matter of fact, it was during the John Cena and Randy Orton feud. And somebody had cooked up a graphic and showing their reigns and the length. And a lot of those reigns were very short reigns, very short. Mind you, Cena and Orton in particular, like they, neither one of them had like super long title reign runs.
Right.
And it made me think about, okay, to me, it's a thing of long title reigns don't equal great reigns.
Correct.
And that's something I think it's a narrative that gets pushed, like, oh, they were champ for 136 days or they were champ for a year. And sometimes it's like, okay, and what's the the impact, to me, impact over lengthwise.
Yeah.
All right, so with Gunther beating Jey for his second reign, to me, I wasn't bothered by it because it's like, okay, is Jey's career over? No.
Nope.
He still
No.
has opportunities the same way that you had Ric Flair. Obviously, the motherfucker lost the belt 15 times, 14 times in order. 17?
Yeah, I think he's a 16-time champ. Yeah, because he had a record.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Cena, obviously, Orton, obviously, lost the belt. Like, it's wrestling. It's not like sports in terms of, oh, well, LeBron went to the finals this amount of time. And, it's not that type of, party. So, to me, the fact that Jey was able to have that reign, it's going to set up for when he, at some point eventually does get another reign. It's going to help, it's only going to help boost Gunther. This, especially the match in itself, it was a very good match. I enjoyed it. To me, it was better than their WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
But also when you're working with someone, you're able, especially rubber matches post your first initial matchup, you're able to get a chemistry. You're able to, okay, hey, in the first match we had, this didn't work. Second match, you know what I mean? So I thought that was dope. I thought it should have been possibly on a pay-per-view. A little bit more, a little bit more build up, but I'm not mad. It's whatever. But to me, Jey's reign, it did what it needed to do. It established Jey as like, yo, he's now a former world champion.
Yeah.
Regardless if, mind you, Bob Backlund, this motherfucker had the belt for a day. You know what I mean? After Diesel beat him.
Yeah.
To have his reign. You still can't take away the title reign. Mind you, some people just are a transitional champion. That just, it's just the name of the game. But to me, Jey wasn't transitional. It's just, hey, he had his, the Yeet movement took over. He had a lot of momentum. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Give him the belt. He's worked hard over these past few years.
Yep.
He's moving hella merch. You know what I mean? He's one of the prime players in WWE. Hey, he earned and deserved that. Gunther, to me, I'm like, him getting a second reign, that speaks volumes on how much faith that WWE has in his character and his progression and his story arc, his career. I think for the people who kind of jumped out the gym in terms of just like, oh, Jey should have had a lengthier reign, or oh, his shit was trash. I mean, it's subjective. You know what I mean? I think the matches that he did have, they were solid. Not classics or anything like that, but they did what they needed to do. I'm looking forward, though, to see where not necessarily Gunther, but where Jey goes. Mind you, we're going to speak on where he's at right now because obviously, King of the Ring. But I think Jey, man, he's good. You know what I mean? This doesn't affect him, in a way in terms of that like, oh, he's going to drop down the card, because Yeet is still yeeting. He's still very charismatic. And Keish, man, I respect Keish for speaking for his son, just because I would do the same thing too. You know what I mean? I'm going to speak my mind for my son, because, as a parent, motherfucker, you can't tell me nothing bad about my kids. You know what I mean? Yeah. Shout out to my daughter, just graduated high school yesterday.
Congratulations.
You know what I mean? Graduated high school. So appreciate that. But just honestly, it's like I felt like also jumped out the gym, because it's like, bro, you can't always you got to support your kids, but also you got to let your kids be, you have to let them live. You have to let the company, mind you, you're not in the company, bro. Your son is. So some of the things you say could potentially hurt, could cause damage. But just, not to go into like a tangent or anything, but I just think ultimately Jey's run, it did what it needed to do, established him for what he needed, and it's also helping Gunther again, and in terms of his story arc.
Yeah, yeah. I think if he does get it back, the second run will be better than the first one,
absolutely,
for sure. Yeah. And to say you're a two-time champion is quite a big deal. So,
come on now.
So I'm not against that. I think the only problem that I had, and let me just stop for a second. I agree. Merch still sells, crowd still goes crazy, the kids still love him. His momentum has not gotten hurt, not one bit. He will still be, he's a superstar, super duper star at this point. My only issue with his title reign was the 2 defenses that he had. Both had shenanigans. He didn't beat nobody clean. Right? He escaped Seth Rollins, and then shenanigans with John Cena against Logan Paul. It's not.
Yeah.
So that's the little bit of smudge of doo-doo is on those 2 title defenses, right? But the second reign, he can definitely make up for it, especially if he takes it off Gunther, because I feel like these 2 have the feud. Like they got the real deal feud, and and I like them. I like them together. I like the story of Gunther having this number because Jey gives his whole heart into the match, but just falls a little bit short. Right? Got the best of him when it really, really mattered. But at the end of the day, Gunther still is sunning him. So I like that.
Right.
I like that story. But
and I think the second, like you said, I agree with you too. The second reign will be much more sweeter because I didn't like the way Jey got the belt too. It was just,
that quick tap out.
That match is it was kind of ass, bro.
And,
But I think when he get it back, I think it's gonna be a better match like this one was. It's gonna be a good match, and if he gets it without shenanigans, man, it'll definitely like solidify that second run. It'll be more beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. I do like the fact that Jey, when he does wrestle against a mean guy, he got to hit him with at least 2 splashes, like he did last.
Yep, I like that too.
I like that. Like, let me make sure I push you down and keep you down. So I like that.
Right.
I like that aspect. I thought we were going to have, a soon-to-be title contention between Liv and IYO SKY, and it makes me feel even worse for Liv Morgan because she was just shining so much in that opening segment with all the charisma in the world, talking that shit.
Yeah.
IYO came out. That was a hot segment. Dom had the heat. Liv had the heat. IYO had the crowd. And I was like, okay, I'm looking forward to seeing this matchup, but that's going to have to be on pause just for a little bit. But
yeah.
So there's not much to say about this. I probably would have went into more detail and asked you guys, like, what do you think? What do you predict? But unfortunately, we got a monkey wrench thrown into the plans with the injury. So, so let me ask you this instead, because Night of Champions is only a week, 2 weeks away. So, what do we do with IYO? We'll go with you first, Gold.
Damn, that's tough, bro. I don't know. Maybe it'll be one of her homegirls.
Kyrie or Asuka?
Yeah. I think that's kind of like that'll kind of like throw people off or whatever. And like I said, we always talk about how they don't want to be predictable. I mean, I think that'd be a cool last story. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Madison J?
Honestly, I don't think they should have her on the card. I think it'll be a little too rushed. I mean, mind you, a lot of people like, champions should be, but at the end of the day, mind you, there was a set plan. Mind you, we grew up on the era of card subject to change.
Right.
And this is one of those things of, hey, didn't work out, obviously with the injury, hey, you can come back to it. Me personally, I would just have IYO present whoever's going to be, the women's, the queen of the ring, whoever will win that, present them, hey, set up kind of like a face-off, have a face-off and kind of set up for whatever the next feud in terms of whoever will be the winner of the tournament. Have her set the tone with that. But honestly, I don't think they should try to, unless it'll be like a multi-woman match, or unless they do something like a tag match. I don't think she should even defend the title at this point on the card.
So who, if we were to like round up the top contenders, excluding the Queen of the Ring, but the top contenders right now for IYO, what would you say? Rhea's?
Yeah, honestly, Rhea, because she has so much juice. Regardless of, it's like she has the aura, she has the it that, like, regardless, just hey, put her in the match regardless, because we just know, like, the crowd is going to eat it up. And outside of that, she's going to put in pain. You know what I mean? She's going to do what she needs to do. Rhea is just in her groove right now. She understands the assignment fully, even extra credit. She gets it. Honestly, to be real, I could see, as I'm actually thinking about it, fuck it, Io, Rhea, and Stephanie. Because Stephanie is like, she's cooking with grease right now since she's been on the main roster. She is like cooking with high levels of fish grease. And I would say, but again, it would feel a little forced just to be like, yo, get her on the card. Maybe they could build to that to Saturday's night main event, possibly have that in there. Because at the end of the day, I think Rhea and Stephanie, they're the ones who have, like, they've got that juice right now. Liv as well, but just in terms of with Stephanie and Rhea being faces, that will, appease the crowd, have them hype, mind you, you know what I mean? They're baddies. So that, so I wouldn't mind seeing that, but honestly, I just would not want to see Io on the card for Night of Champions unless, and it's crazy because it's Night of Champions, so the belt should be defended, I guess, because of the theme of the pay-per-view or PLE, excuse me. But yeah, it would seem a little forced. But we've seen this before in terms of injury happens, they throw somebody in. Oh, they had a banger of a match. It wasn't. Matter of fact, Dom, it was at who did Dom just defend the damn belt against? I just lost my train of thought slightly.
Octagon Jr.
Damn, what's his name?
Octagon Jr.
Yep. Because I think it was off of Worlds Collide, set the challenge, and then they had, dope match. It was unexpected. But if they would have had a little build up, it would have been like, oh, okay, nah, this is dope. Because who the hell is, who's Octagon? Like, giving a little bit more backstory on that and building up. But I let Io rest. You know what I mean? You guys flesh out some type of story. Mind you, Liv's down. So flesh out a story and let's see what happens possibly at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, I agree with you on the let Io rest part, because I would love to see Stephanie and Io, square up, but it wouldn't make sense until the Queen of the Ring tournament was over.
Right.
She can't leapfrog into a title match when you kind of lost your opportunity to qualify for one.
Right.
So
it's like, well, damn, what was the whole point of the tournament if you're just going to throw somebody with a title shot?
Right.
Yeah.
So that makes sense to me. So yeah, I'm with you. Night of Champions. Sometimes the card has to change. So I guess we'll see. They got another episode of Raw to figure that out.
Right.
Dominik Mysterio's contender for the IC title. We got AJ Styles in the mix. He had a match with JD last night. And then Nick Aldis. First of all, where's Adam Pearce?
Yeah, exactly. I said the same thing.
He actually spoke on that on Twitter. The crazy thing is, I ain't even pay attention to it because he basically made the announcement of like, oh, I'm going to be out for a whoop-de-whoop, but I got Nick Aldis, Phil. And I said, I scratched my head. I said, huh?
Right.
I said, you got a guy on another brand. He's going to, so what the, I said, okay, I guess so. Yeah, I guess logic or whatever. But Adam did mention that. It was something, I think, in regards to something. It was something that he said. Okay. And he actually put the promo out on his IG and Twitter.
Okay.
But just literally, I didn't even listen to it, to be honest.
No worries. I just, it came to my mind when I was saying that Nick Aldis had granted AJ the championship shot. But with that being said, I think AJ's going to beat Dominik Mysterio.
Hell no.
I didn't think so either, but
no.
Get your ass out of here, Jack Perry.
So it's just not happening. Not this time, huh?
I could see it, but I think it would. I think Dom definitely he's got the juice to have a lengthy reign. Just because I'm like, what benefit would it do AJ outside of just, AJ's got a belt, you know? It's AJ Styles, man. You know what I mean? Alan Jones, he's established. He doesn't need it.
Yeah. You don't need
Yeah,
it.
If anything, it's gonna be a dope ass match, and it's just gonna add like credibility to Dom's like reign.
Yeah,
This is
Yeah,
gonna be a good ass match.
that'd be a great victory for Dom. That'd be good,
absolutely.
especially if he wins clean. But
Yeah.
come on now,
Hey, man, hey.
Judgment Day.
come on now.
Yeah, it's Judgment Day. It's going to be some type of chicanery.
Yeah, shenanigans for sure. So yeah, I'm predicting
course.
that I think Dom's going to get the victory with the help of Finn Balor, and then Finn Balor's going to hold it over his head like, hey, you would have lost that title if it wasn't for me. That's what I'm thinking.
Or maybe he Finn to like screw up trying to help or whatever. But Dom still get the win, and then Don just be like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah,
What were you doing?
yeah. I think that wedge is going to get inserted further and further as we lead to SummerSlam, because I think the Finn Dom match is happening at SummerSlam. It's 2 nights.
If that happens, I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna be a good ass match.
that's what I think is happening. But hey, AJ, he knows his role. He's doing his thing right now. OG, in great shape for his age, still flying,
Hell yeah.
still doing springboards with precision,
Right.
smooth as butter. So shout out to him. His career longevity is amazing. A couple injuries in the last couple years, but he always comes back just as strong. So shout out to AJ Styles.
Right.
The current feud for the women's IC title, we got Bayley versus Becky Lynch, which I assume these two will have a great match against each other. They beat for so long in different ways and different roles, from Damage Control to just back in the day. But I like this new heel Becky Lynch. I don't know why. She's just doing a good job of getting heat, coming out in Green Bay with the Bears outfit on.
Loved it.
Just talking that
Loved
shit.
it.
Where like Bayley, she's doing her best to kind of like get that redemption that I think she's still working on from her dastardly Damage Control days. But showing her love to the audience, whatnot. So I think the fans are behind her like all the way now. She had to kiss up just a little bit, but then Becky came out and was like, "Yo, fuck these fans, get the fuck out of here." And why you hanging around these fake bitches any goddamn way? They all turned on you, right? So I thought that was a good little story right there. But what it's leading to is a title match next week on Raw. So with that, and then also the backstage segment with Lyra, it's like Lyra keeping her eye on Bayley, like, all right, well, if you do what you gotta do, I gotta do what I gotta do as well.
Exactly.
So I don't predict Becky Lynch losing next week, but Gold, what do you think about it?
No, I don't think she's gonna lose either.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good match though. I think if anybody's gonna get that title back, if anybody's gonna get that title, it's gonna be Lyra again. Like maybe like after like Becky and Bayley's fight, then Lyra and Bayley some kind of like, or maybe it might be a 3-way. It could be like a 3-way thing.
That's what it smells like to me. But what do you think, Madison J?
I definitely could see a 3-way. I'm gonna be so real. Bayley has got to go back to like happy-go-lucky to get the stench off her heel run. And she's, she going back to pandemic, role model. She just has, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but she has a stench on her that it's like, I don't always trust in terms of not necessarily character. I just don't trust her, the character work she's done to win me over as, oh, she's a face. She's a good guy. She means, it's like she's always got something bubbling like to where, but that's a testament. Yeah. It's a testament to she did great heel work in order to get away from Hugger Bayley. She changed herself up so much. But for me, in terms of like, okay, yeah, I'm fully behind Bayley. You got to go back happy-go-lucky. But I think this feud with her and Becky is going to be very dope. Mind you, you got two trusted workers who are going to put on. They're going to put on a show. They know, they know their assignments plus the extra credit. I am actually looking forward to the match because I feel like there's going to be something to where it's not fully clean, but it could lead to something, in the long run. Maybe another match on a PLE. Also Lyra, inserting her into that because mind you, still technically unfinished business with Becky, after Becky beat her and her whooping her ass post match. But I salute to Becky for being able to adapt with the heel character. I think it was definitely a good look for Lyra in terms of their feud, and you know what I mean. And I don't think that Bayley will beat Becky, so that just adds on to the Becky run and also that IC lineage. Having on dope matches, mind you. I think what they're trying to do with that IC title is have it be comparable to the men's as the workhorse title,
Right.
Having great matches. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this iteration of Bayley and Becky as they continue on with their feud, showing out for the four horsewoman, and just keeping that going.
Yeah, I see this feud definitely has some legs on it. Because I'm assuming, or I'm not assuming, but what it smells like to me is that Lyra might come ringside and maybe inadvertently cost Bayley the match. I think Becky's winning, but not clean. Because I think this will be a to be continued. Because keep in mind, Becky did do the backstage attack and whatnot, right? So I don't think exchanging holds and wrist locks is going to be on the menu. If a three-way is coming, which is what it seems like it's going to be at some point, I expect some inadvertent interference.
Yeah, something got to happen to make it make sense. Yeah,
absolutely.
But with that being said, just like we talked about IYO, well, who are the other contenders that you can think of for the women's IC title? I'm drawing a blank. Although, there's Stephanie, of course.
Yeah, Stephanie Vaquero. Roxanne.
Roxanne, of course.
But
maybe not in terms of like who's ready to go. Like earned it. Because Roxanne, she got on.
I wouldn't mind Julia.
Well, Julia.
Yeah, I was gonna say Julia too, but Julia's SmackDown though, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure. Well, honestly, what does that mean now? What does that mean? Because it's and it hurts. Get out of here. Because even going back with Adam Pearson and Nick Aldis, it's like, bro, how do you? It would have been better if you would have just got a a whole separate. Like that would be like Burger King being like, yo, the CEO's sick. We're gonna get the McDonald's CEO to kind of just take up. Like that doesn't, it doesn't make logical sense because you guys are, mind you, you're competing against each other.
Right.
Why the fuck would you have the other
details?
Yeah, so WWE, it's almost like, you guys have this damn brand split, but then you'll have people from other brands pop up on the show consistently. Not even a special thing. It's just like, so that, that's where I'm like, well, shit, you might as well throw, Julie in there then. But in all actuality, to me, anybody could be, inserted in there because they're not prioritizing in terms of, okay, this person is here and this person is here in terms of like, these are the women that are going for the world title. These are the women. It's just basically like a free for all. Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Throw Ivy now. You know what I mean? Have her compete.
Yeah.
Asuka's back. You got a plethora of women, I think, honestly, that could fit into that shoe of, all right, who's next up? What's the next challenger? SummerSlam, though. It's on the horizon. Yeah. Who's going to step up? I think Stephanie obviously will be the, because again, she's cooking with hot ass fish grease. So you got to insert her, and especially if it's the party of the summer, you gotta have her in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest, at least right now, the biggest draws or what makes the IC women's title more attractive is that it's a belt that only 2 women have had so far.
Right.
So even former world champions like Asuka, she's never been an IC champ. So why not? Why not be that Grand Slam champion?
Absolutely.
So it makes sense to me. I do like the women's secondary titles. The IC title a little bit more than the US, but in both instances it's the same people fighting each other, but there's room to grow. You know,
Absolutely.
WWE has this like little hat trick where they got to have people fight each other at least 3 times or 2 pay-per-views in a row. Now, I don't know why they do that, but typically it's 3 matches and then the feud is over. So
Right.
we'll see how that goes. I don't know if you recall that one year where when Christian had won the world title against Alberto Del Rio, and then he fought Randy Orton like 5 pay-per-views straight.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He kept saying,
I remember that because it was like the internet was just wailing on them for that. Like, yo, what the hell is going on? Like, you guys don't have any other contenders.
Right.
But on the flip side, I think it helps rivalries. It helps build, up like the rivalry, because sometimes, and it's like, not to excuse WWE for doing it, because sometimes it's lazy booking, but then sometimes it's like, yo, we got magic. Fuck that. We're riding the wave till it dies out.
Right.
The people are, these 2 athletes or 3, it's like they've got good chemistry. The people are receptive to it. The matches are, good to great. Fuck it. Let's just, keep riding it out. But also it's like, you don't want to run to the well too much.
Right.
Yeah, 5 times is a lot.
Too many.
5 pay-per-views in a row. That's
why? Because then it oversaturates the feud. So it's like, damn, now the fans like, yo, we don't want to see this again. Save it for like a year from now.
Right.
Exactly.
So.
So we'll see. We'll see where this one goes. I think we covered everything in Raw except the King of the Ring matches. So then we can transition into the King of the Ring brackets. But first, let's start with the Queen of the Ring. So Asuka made her return. Shout out to Asuka. Didn't lose a step. Got a little winded, but of course you would do that in your first match back, especially in a fast-paced fatal 4-way. And she was going at 100% top speed in that match. I thought it was great. I thought the exchange between her and Stephanie was great. I thought Ivy Nile did a good showing. As of late, Ivy Nile's been showing out, so I'm paying attention to her now.
Okay.
And then Raquel's just that. She's just a great, I don't want to say big woman, but we say big man like a Diesel. But right. But Raquel got that when she's using her power and just tossing people around. And then Asuka hit that double drop kick off the top rope while Raquel had Stephanie and Ivy on her shoulders. Like, come on, that shit was incredible. And it was a great match.
It was.
And Nick had told me, like, oh, Raquel's not winning this match because Rhea ain't going to let that slide. And that's exactly what happened. Rhea came out, pulled Raquel out by the leg to disrupt the pin. Gave her a damn riptide on the floor. Ouch. That shit looked like it didn't feel good. But other than that.
Hold that.
And then.
That'll probably get added to the Saturday night's main event.
You think
Rhea
so?
versus Raquel.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Because they wouldn't do it at Night of Champions. They probably would. Well, they probably save that for Saturday night's main event. Well,
right.
I mean, they have a history from NXT, heated history, Raquel and Rhea. So let's just see where that goes. But and Stephanie did the devil's kiss on the apron. That was pretty dope as well.
That thing is so over.
So over, like she.
It is.
And shout out to Booker T for helping get that shit over when she was on NXT.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the crowd's with it. Like Stephanie just has this aura, like already instantly. It didn't take long for the crowd to warm up to her. Whereas like it took a minute for them to get on Lyra's side. And it might take them, Lyra as a face, but Stephanie came in and they love her already. She has this mystique, I don't know, just that the face, the facials, just of course.
Some people just fucking got it, bro. Just like Jacob.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
got it.
There you go.
That's what I would.
Just got it.
That's what I would compare it to, like a Jacob impact, like off the rip, right away. As soon as I show up, all eyes on this. So I'm like, yeah. But that was really that was a great match, and Asuka won. I'm not mad at it. Originally, I had predicted Stephanie to win. I thought Asuka losing a fatal 4-way wouldn't hurt her, but she won. It's going to be her versus Alexa Bliss. We'll talk about the brackets in a little bit more depth after we talk about the men's last qualifier. But Gold, what did you think about the match and the victorious Asuka?
Oh man, definitely enjoyed it. It's crazy that she's been going for like a year.
Yeah.
Like time just fucking flew, man. But I definitely always been a fan of Asuka, man. Incredible performer. And I think that was a just dope to her coming back to a win, you know, and just ready to see her like mix it up with like some of the new talent too, and see how that goes.
Yeah. Madison J, what did you think about the match and Asuka's return?
Thought it was a dope match, very dope match. I wanted to say, to me, this iteration of the King and Queen of the Ring is been dope. These Fatal Four Ways, it gives the tournament a new element. A lot of people were griping like, "Oh, it should be one-on-one matches like it used to be back in the day." Like, bro, it's like my dog Slim Charles said. The thing about back in the day, that shit was back in the day.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yep.
I don't mind one-on-one tournament just because it's something that I've just been, I'm acclimated to it. I'm just used to it. But it gave the tournament a new edge. Also, it's to me, it's been able to showcase a lot of dope matchups because now instead of two people, you got four
Yep.
in the ring. So it just, it's creating these different scenarios, it's creating different outcomes. I just think that fatal four way concept has been very, it's been very dope. I'm glad that Asuka was able to get the win because it's like, damn, yeah, she didn't need it, but because she's been out for so long, it's like,
Yeah.
nah, she does need it to help boost her back to where she needs to be at.
Mhm.
Stephanie is like, there's still so much other, there's still much room to grow. There's going to be other, because Stephanie is gonna, she's already shaking the room up, but there's plenty of room just throughout this year of where she's gonna do, she's gonna do great things. Ivy now, I'm really, like you said, VSOP, really been watching Ivy. She's, she is been playing her role very well, and there's definitely some room there to where she's gonna have that, that room to grow. Raquel, mind you, big mommy smooth, big mommy cool.
Yeah.
She's doing her thing. She's doing her thing. And just the fact that I definitely could see her and Rhea going at it, just kind of again rekindling that feud in NXT, and also just the feud they've had with her being, god damn it, being
Well, let me tell you something, brother. What you gonna do?
right, Liv Morgan, being Liv Morgan's homie. I wanted to say Lyra so bad. I don't know. I wanted to say it so bad, but being Liv's homie, just keeping that whole beef going. I think that'll be very dope to see Raquel and Rhea, have a matchup again at some point. Hopefully, probably like it's Saturday's night main event. But yeah, this is definitely. I'm looking forward to that Asuka Alexa Bliss. Mind you, two women who have been off the radar for a while, injuries and other things going on, and now look, bomb. Now they're back in the position of where they need to be. One of them's gonna have to lose. One of them's gonna win. Intrigued to see who's gonna be.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned the fatal four-way concept. When it was first introduced to me, I had my reservations as well, just going by
Likewise.
what I was used to coming up. But I was also used to it being a dedicated pay-per-view where the whole tournament was on the pay-per-view, right? Then they moved it to television. And now, they moved it to Night of Champions. They don't even have the title for the finals, which is okay, I'm cool. I'll let that ride. Because the fatal four-way matches have all been good.
Yes.
And similar to Money in the Bank qualifiers, the triple threats were all good. And
Right.
I complained about this with Gold because every time we made a prediction, that shit went left because they put the people who we think would win in the matches with people who could likely win as well. So it keeps me guessing, right? The biggest Rhea Ripley fan is like, oh, of course she's going to win, and she doesn't even qualify, right? Because she's in a match with other great competitors.
Yep.
So from a competition standpoint, and also it's really hard to have a bad fatal four-way or a triple threat.
Yeah.
Party matches is where it's at. Matter of fact, WWE should do it more often, but I digress. So I'm with it now. You want to do it that way going forward? I'm with it, right? You know, some things I can't ride with, like how they changed the All-Star game. That's some bullshit in the NBA, but another day.
Right.
Another day.
Right.
Another day. But this change, I can roll with. I'm not stubborn on this new format. Right.
Right.
On top of that, it's not just the men, it is the women too. We got to fit them all. So I'm with that. Do you think that now that Asuka's back and she's a face and her former Damage Control homies, Kyrie and IYO, are all faces, you think the Kabuki Warriors are getting back together?
It's a possibility.
Possibility?
I don't know. I think they kind of like homed in right now on kind of like building their individual characters. That's what it feels like, which I think is cool. You know, I think it's cool. Like I love seeing Kyrie in single matches. You know, the past couple few weeks.
Yeah.
And then Asuka's back, and I think they kind of like building their individual characters right for right now. But maybe later in the future they'll probably come back together
As a collective, or at least as a stable, maybe.
Maybe just the Kabuki Warriors, but like Damage Control, I don't think that's happening no more.
Yeah, I think Damage Control is dead, but those three still might be in cahoots. But what do you think, Madison J?
Yeah, I definitely could see, especially with the tag team division being kind of like, a little iffy. I could see the Kabuki Warriors coming in and, wrecking shop. Mind you, just to kind of keep consistent, keep a high level team. But like Gold said, mind you, they're kind of focusing on the solo careers right now. It's a lot going on. It's a lot of high level talent. So to take the easy route, you could be like, yeah, just put them in a tag team. But I don't, just because, mind you got AEW out there, you want to at least appease these, especially international stars, Kyrie, Asuka, et cetera, just to make sure they don't jump ship. You want to make sure, they're appeased, and I could see them making sure that they get, I could see Asuka probably getting Kyrie. I could see her getting an IC run, before it's all said and done.
Yep.
Yeah.
I could see Asuka just in terms of being a workhorse title. I could see Asuka having a very lengthy reign, like a year plus type shit, just because she's the type of woman that will carry and have great feuds with a plethora of women. But excited to see how, what Asuka does and, in her return. And like I said, that match with her and Alexa, just the fact that they've been out for so long and now they're, coming back, getting their footing. It's going to be a dope matchup.
Absolutely.
I would love to see IYO versus Kyrie.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I want to see them against each other. That would be.
Absolutely.
That would be
fire.
I'm with that. Well, shout out to Asuka. She has made her way to the Queen of the Ring semifinals. She'll be facing off with Alexa Bliss. Let's get to the men's fatal four-way. Let me pull that up. So, Jey Uso, the surprise entrant, back in the mix on his hunt to see if he can get his title back, see if he can run it back in a very fun fatal four-way match because we had three mean guys and Jey Uso, and they all worked well together. And
it was a good match.
I can't wait to see Rusev and Sheamus one-on-one. That little tease they gave us was great. Sheamus getting Bronson up for the white noise. Like, how these dudes are incredibly strong. First of all, Jacob Fatu getting Bronson up for the pop-up Samoan drop.
What?
And now Sheamus getting them up for the damn white noise. Like, these guys' lower backs, their vertebrae must be very, very strong.
Very, very.
So, and Jey Uso.
Putting in work, man.
Right. Jey Uso, he's selling the ribs. He's taped up like Diamond Dallas Page for a couple months with the taped up ribs. So
they were attached to his skin at some point with DDP. I was like, my God.
They were
stop wrestling, bro.
They were sewn to his jeans.
Right.
Yeah, so Jey Uso did a good job of matter of fact, he's doing such a good job of selling his ribs. Like when Rusev got him in the Accolade, I was like, ouch. That shit.
Yeah. You feel bad for him.
Yeah. But
like he about to tap.
He sold it well.
Yeah. So good. It was a fun match, back and forth. Bronson threw Sheamus over the barricade. He took a little too long chilling before Sheamus crept back up, nice and slow, and got him in the beats. Is it beats of 10 beats of what? Bedrin? Brooklyn? Bed-Stuy? What is it? The 10
not
the 10 beats of.
That's a good question.
The 10 pounds to the 10 punches to the chest.
Right.
He gave him the 10.
I forgot the name of it though.
Yeah. So he paid that cost and gave him a tip as well. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then the shenanigans started. And here comes Braun Breaker, breaking things. Threw Sammy into the well, first of all, Sammy came out to help. I'm trying to remember. Let me look at my notes. Who came out to do shenanigans first, if y'all recall?
I want to say, I think it was Sam. What?
I literally wrote notes last night as I was watching it.
Sammy?
Let's see.
I think Sammy came out first, if I'm not mistaken.
Rusev got Jey in the accolade, got broken up. Bronson hit the tsunami on Sheamus. That looked like the tsunami is like my favorite splash. Maybe because Bronson Reed is so damn big. He's not elevating. It's not Rob Van Dam or Montez Ford hype, but it just looks amazing every time it comes down. So let's see. Jey hit Bronson with the spear. Then Braun Breaker came in. So he came in to break up break up the pin when Jey hit Bronson with the spear. And then that's when shit got lit. Because Sammy came out, fucking Bronson. Breaker threw military pressed him onto the announce table. That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
But then here comes LA Knight. No, here comes Penta. Penta comes out, does a running dive on Breaker. And then Bronson goes to the top again for the tsunami. And here comes LA Knight to push him off. And then to get his lick back. And then Jey hit the spear, 2 Uso splashes, and gets the victory. I thought it was a great way to end the show. Great storytelling. And just amazing chemistry between these four. Very fun match. But Gold, what did you think? And what do you think about Jey winning?
Man, I was excited. He gonna fuck around and be king of the ring, bro. Watch what I tell you.
You think so?
Yeah. I'm betting on Jey, man. And that'll be a beautiful match, him to get his lip back and he actually, win with no shenanigans, win, clean, this time. And it'll be a beautiful another title reign, bro.
Yeah. What
altogether, the match was exciting though. Super exciting. And what put the cherry on top was Jey hitting the two Uso splashes. I was like, yeah, make sure that shit,
right.
Yeah.
Make sure it's legit. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell yeah. So I definitely enjoyed the match. It was fire.
And I knew I said that I love the tsunami, but I do love the Uso splashes as well. Any Samoan splash is a winner for me because they all do it the same way.
You can't go wrong.
The Samoan splash, the Samoan drops, the Samoan chop they do. They all do the shit, and I love it. Matter of fact, my creative character in 2K always has all three. I love that shit. So I'm rocking with it. But Madison Jey, your thoughts on the match and the victor?
Ah, man, dope match. You know what I'm saying? How's the saying go? Men slapping meat. Pause.
Yeah. Big meaty men slapping meat.
Men slapping meat. There we go. Appreciate you, sir. But it was a personification of that, most definitely. Looking forward to whatever Sheamus and Rusev are going to do, because that obviously looks like they could cook with that. Shout out to Bronson Reed, mind you, another guy coming off of injury. Since he's come back, dope. I like seeing him, up there with Heyman's crew. But yeah, this match was extremely dope. I didn't think Jey was going to win because, he just lost the title.
Right.
He just lost the title. So it's kind of like, all right, so are y'all going to put him in position to get the title again with the King of the Ring? That's why I was a little shocked that Jey won. I kind of thought maybe they were going to go Bronson Reed just to kind of like, let's elevate Bronson or Rusev. Sheamus kind of in that AJ Styles thing of where he's like, he's good either way. Win, lose, draw. He's certified. He's stamped. You know what I mean? But overall, definitely dope for Jay, man. And that's what Gold, you said in the segment earlier, like some people just have it, man. And I think that's what the naysayers and the detractors of Jay don't understand. Like, bro, he's got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might not like it, but he has it. You know what I mean? And very charismatic. To me, I don't give a damn if he could do 4 moves. You know, it's not about how many moves you do. Because me personally, I'm not super blown away when a guy does like 8 million moves. You know what I mean? It's all about how you utilize the moveset. Mind you, Ultimate Warrior, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, the dude probably had maybe like 5 moves. You know what I mean? It's the aura. You know what I mean? John Cena, the 5 moves of doom. But at the same time, compare Cena to someone who does 8.4 million moves, and it's like, bro, it's levels to this shit. And it's a difference. And
Big Daddy Cool, bro.
Yeah, like
say it again, go.
Big Daddy
Cool Diesel. He didn't have a lot of moves, but he just just had it.
Kevin Nash is one of my favorite wrestlers growing up, and he always said, "Yeah, people complain about me having 5 moves, but yeah, they all hurt like hell." And I'm like,
that's my, honestly, and Nash. One thing about Nash, man, he's gonna say some shit that pisses people off, but there's a level of truth, mind you. He's the originator of Vanilla Midget. You know what I'm saying? And that shit is like, there's granted, I know it probably hurt. It still stings to this day, but he had he was speaking a level of truth.
Yeah.
And just again with Jay, man, it's like he just has that aura. You know what I mean? You can't. You can't go in a factory and make aura.
No,
you can't be, it's just, it's not on you, it's in you.
Yeah.
And, but just overall, this match was definitely, again, solid. These fatal 4-ways have been good to great. Like, I haven't seen one yet. This was like, this shit was kind of mid. It was trash. It's just been really exciting because you got, instead of 2, again, going back to what I was saying, instead of 2, you got 4. So it makes the matches more chaotic. Also, at the same time, you got high-level talent who are really going out there and busting their ass. And that's what I think all 4 men did in this fatal 4-way. So looking forward to seeing what the hell Jay's about to do, man, in the semi.
Yeah.
Yeah, semi.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing what he's going to do in that semi, man, because man, is he going to do it again? You know what I mean? Mind you, Royal Rumble winner.
Yeah.
Could he get the King of the Ring? Royal Rumble winner, wins the world title, loses, could win the King of the Ring. Dude, you're having a fucking phenomenal year.
Absolutely. I have.
Damn, do y'all think it's gonna be him versus Cody?
What do you mean, Jay versus Cody?
Yeah.
I mean, that's next week, next Monday.
I think that is the match.
Yeah.
Though that's the semi.
That's the semifinal.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna pull up.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
We're gonna pull up the brackets and analyze it in just a moment. Go ahead.
So okay, this matchup, mind you, I know we're gonna go to the bracket, but this matchup, it's man, they really they got one with that, and they really have to hype it up. I mean, on socials, promote that bitch on Smack, because this is a big matchup. This is a PLE level matchup.
Yeah,
they're giving us for the King of the Ring, leading into Night of Champions. And I'm like, yo, this is two of the biggest faces that you guys have been pushing for the past year.
Yeah,
you got them going up against each other. VSOP, like you said. These matchups have been to the point of where you think somebody's going to win. Then next thing you know, it's like, oh, damn, I didn't think they were going to win. So who the hell are they going to pick between Cody and Jay? Mind you, 2 former world champions. Who's going to get the right to move forward?
Who y'all got?
I don't know, because I want to throw one extra little element into this. We have a very angry Seth Rollins. And we got a pissed off Bronson Reed and a pissed off Braun Breaker. And Seth has yet.
Chicanery coming?
It possibly might be some shenanigans in that match. And granted, listen, I don't always want interference, right, or shenanigans, but they just set it up to where it just happens. Like, which Raw were we talking about where every match had damn interference in it? Was it last week or the week before?
I think it was the week before last year. Every match there has shenanigans.
Every single match.
Every match.
Every single match, right? But it's just one of those things. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's just, it was written. But we're going to bring these brackets up in a second. One thing I want to add just to what you were saying, Madison J, about Jey Uso's aura. Yeah, there's something special in his connection with the crowd, which is why when we did our Royal Rumble show, we just knew that world title was going to come his way. And typically I'm one to kind of like skip entrances every now and then, but I never skip his because I love to see him with the kids. You know, if I had a son or a daughter, just to see that they get this moment to just to wave their hands with him, something they'll remember for the rest of their life. Like these kids, like his connection with the kids is probably why his merchandise is selling like crazy. And if you go on WWEshop.com, there's pages upon pages upon pages of Jey Uso merchandise, but not much for Jimmy.
Get your ass out of here, Jack Perry.
That was for you, Gold. All right. Give me 1 second to take it to the Tron.
Big Jim, get well soon.
Get well soon. We're gonna take it to the Tron and look at the brackets. Give me 1 second to bring those up.
Yes, sir.
Right now, you're checking out VSOP.
Hip hop and wrestling.